Aloha. I'm talking to you from my kitchen. My guest today is Monica Bogar with Napili Flo Farms. We're really happy to have you on, Monica.
Yay, I'm really excited to be on.
So, Napili Flo Farms, you began in 2011 providing locally grown microgreens for the restaurant community on Maui. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you just won a huge award. Tell us about that award.
This is a really exciting award. We actually entered it in 2019, and our kimchi, our first product that we came to market with, was a finalist in 2019. Then we just came out with our kimchi gut shots, which is like a really bold, savory kimchi brine that we bottle. And we decided to enter that this year, or and then we also entered the pineapple ginger turmeric sauerkraut. So these
Wow.
two just got launched right about the same time we had entered into the 2020 Good Food Awards, and they both won first place in their categories,
Oh, that's
which is the
huge.
thanks elixir category and then the pickle category.
So tell me a little bit about how you launched these products. I know that you went through the Maui Food Innovation Center. You were one of the first graduating students and actually distinguished yourself. I think you got a scholarship. You won the scholarship for your product. So tell us a little bit about that process and how you, what you learned and how you won.
Yeah, so I heard about the program and we applied to get into the program. And the product actually that I entered to start the program was a cold pressed juicing with like wheatgrass as well as fresh juices and vegetables, is what my idea was when I applied for the
And
Maui
that's
Food
because
Innovation.
you were already growing these things on your farm.
Exactly. I was sourcing a lot of lily koi, growing my own, and just having an abundance of that source and doing farmers market at the time. And we did really well with the juicing. So when I heard about the program being launched, I decided to just enter it with that in mind. Prior to starting the program, I started farmers market with my mom, and she was ill for about 10 years before she passed. And
Oh,
she was a serial entrepreneur. And even in her dying sick days, she still wanted to go to market. So, in return for her to kind of give her something to do and look forward to and give her purpose, I would take her to the farmer's market. And at the time, I was doing microgreens, edible flowers, and the cold pressed juicing. And so she was doing her kimchi. She got sick, and we stopped the farmer's market for a little bit. And that's when I started the program at the Maui Food Innovation Center. And the whole time I'm in there, people are blowing up my phone, my social media, my emails. Are we going to come back with kimchi to the farmer's market? So then I realized while I was halfway through the program that I needed to do a pivot. I decided to change the recipe to make it vegan and not to use any MSG that sometimes some recipes have, and just source all of the like premium, highest quality salt and chili pepper that would go into our kimchi, as well as the locally grown cabbage, and then source out the organic farmers on island.
so
So
start your farm in the first place? What was your inspiration to start Napili Flow Farms?
So I was a massage therapist and esthetician for about almost 10 years prior to starting to farm, but I've always been intrigued by farming and growing my own food. It was just our way we were brought up. My mom had a green thumb, my aunt had a green thumb. We all pretty much was into growing at least green onions and tomatoes. And so when I had gotten pregnant with my youngest son, Maddox, who is 9 years old now, I decided that I wasn't going to go back to work. And I had basically asked my husband at the time that if I could come up with the same amount of money in farming, can I just stay home? And of course he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch the baby." So um
Sounds like a win-win to me.
it was, yeah. So then I just did a little bit of research, and I just kind of went online and looked up what kind of cash crops can you grow in small areas or vertical spacing and urban farming. And that's when I came up with the microgreens and edible flowers. And at the time, no one was really doing it on Maui. So I actually got to pretty much captivate the whole west side.
I
Yeah.
saw a quote, I think maybe it was from Jojo Vasquez, saying how you would come up to him at the farmer's markets and the chefs and say, you need to try my microgreens. Mine are better. that you had the guts to and the confidence to really go out there and pitch your product?
So the way I came up with a plan to get all of my customers in the first crack, and this is where I blew up so big and so fast, was I went to AgFest, and it was, I think, only like their third year, and they had the chef's contest. And so I just walked right in and went to every chef's booth and said, do you guys have microgreens to garnish your entries today? And none of them had it. And I literally just gave it out like my business card and said, I'll call you Monday morning.
Good for you.
And I got 6 accounts on that first day from the KOR, Leilani's, the TS restaurants, and
Oh,
Kapalua.
those are huge accounts.
Yeah, pretty much all of the biggest channels on the west side right off the first bat. And then I decided we had to grow big real fast.
So how did you do that? How did you grow big real fast?
We just put our heads down and just keep moving and just keep moving.
Did you have to find more property? Did you have enough space?
I have a 10 by 10 PVC greenhouse that we looked on YouTube and built. And that was able to source 5 restaurants delivering 3 days a week. And then I got 10 restaurants the next month. And then we added onto a PVC. And then we decided to order a professional low tunnel hoop and invested about $10,000 in a greenhouse and all of the things to go in it. And we were able to service 20 restaurants, a handful of private chefs, and a handful of food trucks for a solid 6.5 years to 7 years.
And tell me how big again your footprint is for that?
So my first greenhouse was only 10 by 10. My current greenhouse is now 24 by 36.
And you're servicing all those clients and have run a business for 6 years from that amount of space. That is incredible, Monica. And you researched this yourself and figured it out and did the math and got the clients.
I want to take credit and say that I researched it and did it myself. But to be honest, I have the best people that support me and come with all colors of the rainbow with talent or willing to try and learn something with me. So my friends are amazing. They're engineers, they're entrepreneurs. And one of my friends is an engineer and his name is Dino. And he's also an entrepreneur. And he and I got together and we just worked out all the kinks and we just kept moving and doing YouTube videos and just pretty much self-taught. And then I have a family member, one of my favorite uncles, who also is a backyard farmer. And he also with me with YouTube videos and just kept trying to perfect the system in our own area and everything that comes with farming. So
I love the term backyard farmer. So what was your biggest challenge to get this up and going?
Well, if we're talking about microgreens and farming, then the weather here is everything that is not supposed to be for microgreens. I've had to fight against our natural weather patterns in order to grow microgreens all year.
So how did you do that? How do you deal with the changing weather here on Maui?
So we had to install a lot of fan and air circulation to keep the humidity down, as well as putting a lot of dark shade cloth on the top. And, when you're growing microgreens, it's almost like you're in ICU in the hospital. They're all just little incubated babies that you have to just check on them almost every hour. So I was pretty much a prisoner to my home, which I didn't mind because I created my home to be my Zen den. So it was fine for me to be able to just work from home and have my baby and just go out and check on the millions of other babies that I created and then go back and nurse. And then it really fit my lifestyle really well.
So speaking of being isolated, how are you currently dealing with the pandemic and how is that affecting your business?
Well, I just have to be thankful for every situation and I try to make the best of every situation. And thankfully that my lifestyle that I've created the past 10 years with a business, but trying to live this lifestyle from, I don't know, in my early 20s, I realized that it's our decisions and our choices that create the changes in our environment and in our world. So even if it's just one person doing one simple change, it matters a lot. And I have to say that I feel like I've been training for this day for the past 10 years because we already do we work from home. I homeschool my son. And when we do leave, it's really just for necessities or to drop off product to the stores, or to pick up more product, or to visit other farmers and to help my other farmers. So that has not stopped in this time of crisis, and I'm still doing. And in fact, I just realized that our business sales has gone up because we're providing something that the community needs to keep their immune systems up and to stay healthy and even to be happy. Because if your gut is happy and healthy, it actually does affect your mood, and it's proven.
Well, tell me a little
So,
bit about the products that you're talking about.
so we just basically did a pivot in our business, as like we did in the Food Innovation Center.
Mm-hmm.
We had a large farm open up on the west side, but it basically made us have to decide to walk away from microgreens.
Why is that? Oh, because they were producing microgreens?
One greenhouse is probably 20 of my greenhouse. And not to get on the downside, it has actually been a blessing. And I actually want to go and thank that farmer now for shutting us down on the microgreen side, because I was able to put focus into my kimchi. And I have already stopped selling microgreens for a year. So I have not taken that hit and loss this past 2 months because we shifted in the kimchi.
You did sort of a natural shift at the right time.
Yeah. And I live by that rule of just go with the flow. It's kind of why our name is that way. The microgreens was a baby of mine that I created and was a really successful one at that. But it was time for me to change. And it was a perfect, natural, organic way it happened. And now my business is thriving through these times. And if I were still doing microgreens, that would be a huge, huge loss right now for me.
So the Good Food Award that you won, that was for your kimchi and your gut shots?
Correct. That was actually for the pineapple ginger turmeric sauerkraut
That sounds
and
delicious.
then the kimchi gut shots.
Tell us about those products. Why are they good for people?
Okay, so fermented products are now getting really popular because of gut health. People are really starting to understand and learn that gut health is so much more important than we have ever realized. And it's because it actually starts off in your gut, and then it's able to nourish your body, or if your gut is healthy, it can digest and eliminate properly. Fermented foods are high in probiotics, and our product line is all live probiotics, so it's the highest amount of probiotics you can consume.
So normally, folks would be able to get your products at, food stores, Mana Foods, Hawaiian Moons, Down to Earth, Roots, Honokowai Farmers Market.
So they all are open, and actually they all have tripled and doubled their orders lately since this whole thing started. And we just launched our e-commerce line and had a really huge successful first day. So it was a really humbling moment, but also just so much gratitude in my heart, and just knowing that we're able to keep people healthy in these times is just been a huge blessing for us. Like, we're so grateful for that opportunity.
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you. Thank you. That's you're doing a great service and keeping your family healthy and everybody else healthy at the same time, and actually thriving during a very challenging time. So this is a great story, great inspirational story.
Yeah.
So, just kind of going back a little bit, it seems to me you have an undaunting spirit as far as moving ahead and going forward. And what would you tell other people about sort of chasing their dreams if they have an idea or something they want to do but feel like, oh, can't do that? What would you tell those folks?
I think a lot of us deal with fear, and I think that we're overthinking too far ahead sometimes. I think that if you can just be right here, right now, and just do what you can do today, it makes it easier tomorrow, and not get ahead of yourself. And just know that sometimes when things are not working out, it's for the better. And I am total testimonial to this. And you have to just trust the process, see the signs, and try not to paddle upriver ever. You have to go with the flow, be adaptable. You think it's a product that you think it's this product might actually get you to your next opportunity. And you have to be able to adjust, adapt, and just be ready to move and pivot. Because if you're doing that, you'll have no problem with getting to wherever you need to go. And just believing that if your intentions are right and you have the grit to keep going, and it is a passion of yours, just enjoy the ride, because that's all that's really about.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more or put it more beautifully.
If you cannot do that entrepreneurship is probably not the path that you really want to go, because it is constant jumping through hoops. It's
Yes.
constant innovating, and it's constant networking. So if you have that drive and that personality, you're in the right place.
Well, you certainly are in the right place. I'm so happy we got to talk to you today, Monica. You are an inspiration to every one of us to keep moving forward. And like you said, do not paddle upstream. Go go in the
Go with the
direction is go
flow.
with the flow,
Go
and
with the
let's see where
flow.
that takes us. And don't be afraid to take a step out and take a chance and learn from it.
Yeah, it's okay. Fear of failure is what a lot of people's problems are, and failure is my best friend, because I
Failure's
am
our
not a
best teacher, isn't it? I've
yeah,
learned a lot.
it's not my best friend, it's my best teacher, but I don't look at it in a negative way that we were raised to look at failure. Like, it's actually a very positive thing, and it's okay to fail, because that's when you learn the best.
Well, thank you so
So
much,
I
Monica.
appreciate this call, and thank you to the community for supporting us all along. We couldn't have done it without them.
How do we order your kimchi and
Yeah, so
sauerkraut?
we launched our new website, and it's really simple. It's just napiliflowfarm.com. You can also go to my Instagram at Napili Flow Farm and click on our bio, and you'll go right into our website. So thank you guys.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for taking the time to talk with us. I'm sure people are going to be really happy to hear your story. Mahalo, Monica.
Thank you.